Good morning, Mount Olive. Good morning, Pastor Johnson. My assignment today has been to give the mission reflection. I've been a missionary all my life thanks to my maternal grandmother, who did not miss a church or usher board meeting. We attended every one summer revival when some churches in Mississippi still didn't have air conditioning. But after all that, she would go throughout her community and visit with those who had been sick or hospitalized. She would barter and borrow items and deliver to those in need. I think those summers laid the foundation for me choosing a healthcare profession. Grandma was rooted in love and that she poured into me with many valuable lessons and memories that I cherish today. What a year 2020 was. The pandemic shook us to our core and took us out of our comfort zones. When I reflect as a healthcare provider, all I can say is but God. Thankfully, my awareness of how serious coronavirus was going to be didn't lead me into panic mode, but instead it shifted me to my first P, preparation. I read everything I could find. I love movies, and to my loved ones, I sent out text messages. This is not to scare you, but to prepare you. I need you all to watch the movie Contagion. Reverend McBurrow and I took a road trip to Charlotte. We talked nonstop about the virus. By the time the impacts were being felt in our community, I saw the effects it had on people of color. It impacted our Latinx community hard. Health disparities and health inequalities are getting national coverage now, and it's so timely. I volunteered to care for patients on a hybrid COVID-19 unit, and the very first day, looking at the names on the census, I noticed it was our Spanish-speaking community in these isolation rooms. My first thought was, how are we communicating with the patients? But most importantly, how are they communicating with their loved ones? Even in the midst of a crisis, I am thankful that I am rooted in love to always advocate for those that some consider the least. It was a temporary assignment, but it was a time where I saw an atmosphere shift to provide optimal care to those in need. Thankfully, it always comes from a place of love. That's my second P, passion. Fast forward, the vaccines were approved for emergency use authorization in December. One of my best friends is a clinical scientist. She has worked for Johnson & Johnson for over 20 years. She has been blessed to travel to Europe and Asia to work on vaccine research. Clinical scientists and researchers have devoted their careers to epidemiology, which is the study of diseases. In this field, they have always known that something like this was on the horizon. Once again, preparation and passion. Here I am volunteering to vaccinate my coworkers. I had the honor of giving a dear friend a vaccine who is from Colombia in South America. She lost her grandmother to COVID in June. Her grandmother was 87 years old and a beautiful soul. My friend and I cried, thankful tears, and once again, all I can say is but God. I didn't tell her I was giving vaccines that day, but I was going to the restroom when she walked in. God gives us exactly what we need when we need it. The last day that I worked at the vaccine clinic, I was able to vaccinate the current principal of my high school, West Potomac in Alexandria. She is an African-American woman, another awesome experience because representation matters. My current assignment, I'm assisting Mount Olive with vaccine accessibility to our community. My preparation and passion has led to my third P, purpose. To God be the glory. At the beginning of my career over 20 years ago, I didn't know my path would include public health and community outreach nursing. In conclusion, last year it was so timely to have Chaplain Barry Black instruct us to pray the scriptures. My Comfort 19 scriptures are Philippians 4 and Psalm 91. As we focus on our physical health, our mental health also plays a major role in wellness. I advise you all to keep checking on each other and being supportive. I thank each one of you that has continually prayed for myself, my colleagues, frontline, and essential workers over the last year. God has heard your prayers and covered and restored us. Thank you, Pastor Johnson and Reverend McBurrow, for keeping Mount Olive rooted in love and rooted in the community. I love you both. Thank you.